Before we jump into today's episode, if you're digging Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, please know that in 2026, our 10th anniversary year, your support truly matters. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp. Memberships start at just $1 a month and help us bring you even more KPP. You can also support the show with new Ka-Pow merch on our TeePublic store. Please know we appreciate every bit of support, and on with the episode.
You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. How the heck are you? My name's Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
Seth.
I feel like we should check in on Cliff after that epic Marathon Poobah Awards episode. I'm afraid he barely survived, folks. He was drifting by the end. He was losing it. He hated every movie we were talking about.
I was hallucinating by the end of it.
The camera just kept zooming in on his forehead as his eyes drooped down toward the desk. We hope you enjoyed listening to it, even if it almost killed one of our hosts.
No, I thought it turned out rather well. Even though, it was long, but it's always long. It wasn't that much longer than it was last year. And I think for the most part, we saw more movies, so not bad. And
I saw my 10th 2026 movie tonight. So
10th,
already well into.
Wow,
I've been burned out on movies. I have not been watching much at all. I've seen one in these first 2 months, so I'm on pace for 6 movies next week.
Yeah, me too. I think I've only watched maybe one 2026 movie so far.
I want to make a recommendation right up here at the top, since we're talking about that. There's a movie called Nirvana, the band, the show.
I've seen the poster. Mm-hmm.
Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I think these guys had a show called Nirvana, the band, the show. And this is Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I didn't know anything about this.
How many colons does that include?
I don't think there's any. I don't know if there's any.
Bold.
There might be one.
Bold.
It is bold. That was the twist. But I didn't know anything about this at all. Did not even watch a preview, which is the way to do it. And it's the best thing I've seen so far this year. So I went to Athens and saw it with a bunch of college kids, and everybody freaking loved it. And it's a magic trick. It just feels like a magic trick of a movie, and it's just right in our wheelhouse of type of just silliness, but kind of magical, kind of like movie magic. And
so you're saying not even if you're not familiar with the show at all,
you don't need to know. I still don't know what the show is. I don't care. But this was it was just good. It was heartfelt, and it was these two friends, and really there's some really, really funny moments and quotes and really just neat things that they did. I just highly recommend it, and especially going in cold. So just avoid it like the plague until keep your eyes. In fact, everyone close your eyes now and don't open them until you're sitting in your seat. It's playing at like smaller theaters and stuff right now, so odds are you're not going to easily watch it till it's on TV anyway.
Yeah.
But check it out when you do. Don't watch a preview. I think that might ruin it. I don't know what the preview is, but it can't help.
Yeah, I like that we're done. We're still in the midst of awards season. We're done with our awards, but we're still I watched the Independent Spirit Awards last weekend. We just had the Actor Awards.
Yeah, I just watched the Actor Awards.
The
Those were
Oscars
great.
are coming up soon, so we're still talking 2025 movies.
Oh, this has got to be the latest Oscars ever. March 15th is crazy. That's crazy. But I love it. I just watch every award show. Just like to watch. Man, Harrison Ford's dedication, his thing at the Actor Awards was just great.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was tearing up before he ever even got on stage, just watching all the clips. It was just great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I started to take some notes on this Paramount, Netflix, Warner Brothers thing. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't understand it. I'm sure it's bad, and I don't feel like
it's bad. It was going to be bad either way.
Yeah. I hate this mass consolidation where there's only 3 corporations in the world, and this just seems like more of it. Oh, that's cool. Paramount Plus and HBO will have one streaming service. Yeah, they're probably going to double the price. Well, great. So I don't know what to make of it. So
it'll just be another way that we'll only have right-wing news media when they get rid of half of CNN because they got that. So
not only that, but I mean, there's some stuff on HBO.
HBO is the best streaming service there is.
Yeah.
No doubt. In fact, they just had a poll online. Somebody I follow online did a poll every day. Like, what if you had which one of these 4 would you get rid of if you had to get rid of one? They just did it and kept doing it every day. I was like, my pick is HBO is number 1. And that's the one that won. It won over Netflix. It won over because it is the best. It has incredible shows.
Yeah,
tons of movies.
Yep,
and the shows are just bangers. Like it's crazy.
Plus all the classic, Turner Classic movies. There's current blockbuster movies, but more classics than any other streamer has. Yeah, I started rewatching Deadwood.
Yeah.
And it through my algorithm, like you might also want to watch Sopranos, The Leftovers, Boardwalk Empire. It just like bang right. I was like, holy cow! There's so many good shows I wanted to watch. So.
And just the fact that I'm watching, what's Night of the Seven Kingdoms and The Pit, 2 of the greatest shows, and they're not the same. I mean, it's just they're same time. Like. How, you guys just can't even. You're not even spreading stuff out. You guys just keep having good shows. I'm like,
wait till the Suits will invent new ways to ruin it, and it'll be wonderful.
Yeah. So
I'm sure some part of it is a bribe to somebody to pay off something that.
Oh, negative.
A redacted file somewhere that's getting scrubbed because of all this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I actually I just got rid of Netflix.
I got to ride to Cleveland with him. Next week.
Good luck.
He's like fire and brimstone.
Yeah, I just got rid of Netflix just because, like, I don't watch that much anything on Netflix anymore, and my wife and daughter seem to, they like the idea of having it, but I'm like, we have so many, like, we can take a break from this one. But speaking of rewatching, I spent about the last week and a half. I rewatched season 1 of Andor on Disney Plus because talk about good stuff. But I hadn't watched that first season for quite a while, and so one day I was just bored looking for something to watch. I was like, I'll watch Andor. I was like, I'm just gonna start from the beginning, and like, man, that season 1 is so good. I think season 2 is superior, but man, there is some good stuff in season 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say. I think they're both pretty even. I just think the whole show was just front to back great. I saw that Tony Gilroy interview or whatever in the last week where they weren't allowed to use the word fascism anywhere in that show, and apparently now he can say whatever he wants. But He's like, we literally just got a Fascism for Dummies book and just did things out of it. And it's like, yeah, that's what the dummies are using now.
Yeah.
Same book.
I'm very familiar with Fascism for Dummies.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I did. So it was funny. We had some friends over. You know, it's just Alicia and I most of the time, and it was Valentine's Day actually, and we were just sitting at home. We weren't doing anything. Didn't have any plans, and so we had texted friends of ours, and they weren't doing anything either. It's kind of getting on in the evening, so we're like, hey, just come on over, whatever. We'll hang out.
Have a key party?
Yeah.
Come on over.
So, not that kind of party. But that kind of rolls into my story. So
it's just chill. We got rid of Netflix.
Yeah. So we had gotten rid of Netflix. So we were watching
Andor and chill.
We were watching HBO, the HBO app. And we were rewatching through that I Love LA series that came out not too long ago.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
But it was kind of on in the background, and it was on when they came over, and they still have kind of littleish kids at home.
Oh, they're not watching that.
They're not watching that. But we, like it's most of the time just us, so we're not paying any attention to it. We're, it's just on in the background. We're just sitting there talking and this and that. And then finally, like sex scenes up on the screen, and like, they kind of looked at each other and they're like, what are you watching? I was like, oh, it's HBO.
Porn.
I was like, it's HBO. And they're like, the look
See
on their
anything
face,
you like?
It's not TV.
but the shocked,
That's what is putting out the feelers here. See how you react.
Where's this gonna go? But the shock on their faces was hilarious, because we just kind of laughed. I was like, we don't have any kids. I was like, we just watch whatever we want, like whatever. And
Want to see something else?
And my buddy, he was sitting in the other sofa, and he kind of looked at me. He goes, "Oh, how European of you over here!" And it cracked me up. I was like, like how easily we get adjusted to not have, our kids are grown anyways, but not having those little kids around. It was just like, oh yeah, duh, you got little kids. Welcome to HBO.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Before we leave movies altogether, I have pretty cool movie news this week.
Save Martha!
Local writer James Patrick's second comic book series being optioned for a film, Astronaut Daniel. 2022 Aftershock story by the artist was a Spanish guy named Rubin. It's his just one name artiste handle. So picked up for a movie deal with Netflix. Kaiju Score, his last one.
Cliff's not gonna.
I'm not gonna watch it.
He's not gonna see that.
No. We're all gonna have to resubscribe to Netflix. Sorry. That's what I wondered, if he would be able to do some kind of screening, or I don't know how that.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be cool.
If he could do some local thing.
If we only had a theater.
Yeah.
We'll have to hang a sheet in a parking lot or something.
Well, they could do it at the
People's Bank.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would you never know if you approach somebody like that. Say they like the people down there like local.
Yeah, this is
heroes.
The type of thing they should be. Yeah,
it's that would be really cool. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Curious about that.
Stories about basically the end of the world. There's this crazy virus.
Anything new? Yeah. We're living now that end of the world. There was a crazy virus.
Post-COVID, everyone was on that tip. But yeah, the world's ending. So scientists are shooting these astronauts to parallel realities to see if any of them have solved it. So if they can get the cure and bring it back and save the world. So this guy gets shot to a different reality and finds some interesting things there, and maybe doesn't want to come back. Maybe doesn't want to save the world. So kind of a heady sci-fi allegory adventure story. So good stuff. I feel like it's kind of perfect for Netflix. I could see it fitting in very well there. It's being produced by Esmail Corp. Created by Sam Esmail, the creator of Mr. Robot. And the director of Julie Roberts' Leave the World Behind was a huge hit on Netflix, so he's got some cachet at Netflix, so he's producing it. It's not decided whether he's writing or he's directing it or not, but he's putting his weight behind it. And I've heard from James he has had some positive. He's going to be like a consultant. They're going to ask or at least tell him what they're doing. I don't know if they care what he thinks, but they're going to keep him updated. And he said that everyone seems to be on the right page. He likes all the notes he's heard from it, so he's excited. Again, Kaiju Score has been a long time since that announcement. I don't know really what's happening on that one. There's been some ups and downs with that one, and I've heard there were a few. That's what you want to do with the story. There are a few like things he didn't quite vibe with. So and I'm sure it's changed 10 times since then. But so this might actually end up coming out before Kaiju Score. Who knows?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell my James Patrick story, in case you haven't heard it 100 times. Because I always think of this. The first time I ever saw him was when you were on 2nd Street, and he was in there. Death Comes to Dillinger was out, and he was sitting there, doing a signing or whatever. And I came in just buying stuff, and smug young. I wasn't gonna act like I gave a shit about anything. I was just buying my comics or whatever, and I just kind of went by and looked down at it, said hey, and then turned around to buy my stuff, and I just heard his voice behind me go, "Well, you have to know that the title was Death and the Man Who Would Not Die," and he said Death and the Man Who Would Not Buy. I just snickered. It was funny. It was a good one.
That's a clever writer.
Clever writer. There you go. But that always stuck in my head. So it was a good one. But I love that.
That's a good segue. I don't know if we would count this as a you know me, but I thought it might be a decent discussion for a minute.
How can you read this? There's no pictures.
Well, some people use their imagination.
Well, I must hurry back to my comic book store where I dispense the insults rather than absorb them.
Happens all the time. Read a comic book, okay?
Speaking of comic books and writers, Todd McFarlane ignited some debate on the internet recently. It's a thing I've heard him say before. It's a debate I've heard over and over again, but it just something clicked this time and had a whole bunch of more people talking about it. So he was doing a Q&A with Wired, and users were asking him questions, and somebody asked, what's more important in a comic, art or story? And you can probably guess his answer. He quote, "Here's my complete and utter bias, and I'm going to my grave with this answer. I can sell a book that is drawn by Michelangelo and written by my dog. I can sell that book. But what I can't do is sell a book that is written by William Shakespeare and drawn by my mom." So obviously Todd thinks art trumps writing when it comes to comics. I was curious about your guys' opinion. People have been kind of spouting off on this lately. Obviously the answer is both. Like, comics are a mesh of both.
Yeah. Wow, don't tell us the answer.
If you guys had an opinion, what draws you personally? What your favorite stories is? Can you read a book with subpar art if you love the story? You buy a book that you love the art even if you're not digging it? I'm just curious.
Wow, you're making me really face this.
I mean,
I'm biased as a writer. Todd's biased with the art. I'm biased as a writer. So you guys.
Well, I don't know. I threw my hat in the writing ring here.
Yes, published author as well.
So I thought, see, I always think, we get comics signed and stuff at these cons all the time. I was just thinking about this the other day, not knowing this question was coming, but just because I don't know the reality of comic creation in the big scale, like when these guys submit a script, how I know the artist has they draw things the way they want, and some people, give more direction than others. But the actual idea, anybody can get an idea, but the actual story was created by the writer. It comes from them, and then yes, it can become a whole nother thing with the artist, but ideally, usually the writer wants the artist to enhance it, but put what they're picturing on the page, maybe, hopefully better than they're picturing, but it's still their story, and it is the story. What I know, this isn't necessarily your question, but I'm like who's more important? I always lean the writer, but then I don't want to read something that doesn't have the art, doesn't is not beautiful. That is equally important when in consumption, And I think of like all these, I collect board games and stuff, but there are so many neat ideas for board games that I do not care about if I do not like the art, or the theme. If it's not has this solid, like, fun theme to me, like a haunted house or a racing or something like that has a cool looking art, then I don't care. If it's like just checkers looking, something very bland, I don't care if it has an exciting story. If it looks like shit, I don't want to play it. So I definitely see both sides. The story is always, to me, the number one thing, but when it comes to such a visual medium, obviously the art's very important. That's not an easy question to answer.
I mean, it's probably a lame answer, but what immediately comes to my brain is simply, for me, the art will make me pick up that book. The art, the cover will get me to buy that book. The story will get me to buy issue number 2, 3, 4 down the road most of the time, right? But like like Todd said, I mean, if the art isn't vibing with me, if the art isn't great to match the story somewhat, it's not going to probably hold my interest either. So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely, the art is what gets me to pick it up. I
agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Where like, issue 1 is easy to sell. Like,
right,
you can get somebody to buy issue 1, but what brings you back for issue 2? To me, it's more often story. And Todd is a businessman. He's approaching this as what sells. He's an artist, a great artist, but he's never been a great visual storyteller. Like, I remember reading his Spider-Man when they gave him his own adjectiveless Spider-Man, and he was writing it and drawing it. And in the letters column, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Hopefully I do okay. Like, he was just figuring it out, and he's never become like, he draws cool splash pages, but that doesn't necessarily, convey the story the exact right way. So, but Todd's like, I can sell that comic, was his quote. So yeah, of course you can sell a comic with beautiful art. And especially nowadays with so many variant covers, so many books being slabbed in plastic and getting graded. Like, you're never reading that story. It's slabbed in plastic. You're just buying it.
It's only the art.
You're just buying an art piece. So yeah, of course that sells. But I feel like that's a different argument. What makes comics work, or what makes you enjoy them, is different from what sells them. So
I don't give a crap what sells. As I'm the exact opposite in his position. So I've seen interviews with him, talking about his toy company, and he gets a lot of criticism on some of those lines because, especially he's done the DC stuff for the last few years, and there are so many goddamn Superman and Batman repaints out of every wave of every series that he does. It's like, oh, we'll get 2 cool figures and 35 repeats of Batman and Superman that, who wants to buy that same figure 12 times unless you're insane. and rather than just listen to people and give people, more characters and less of the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, I don't know how much credibility there, from sales he even has.
And I feel like there's also a different slant when you get away from kind of the mainstream or the superhero world, where like indie comics, some of these real small, biographical comics, or like they have art that looks like they're drawn by, middle schoolers, but people really connect with them because they're very personal storytelling. So like, I feel like you can still tell a very good story with stick figures. There's web comics that do that. There's the one that just has a dot, different dots with word balloons, so comics are interesting because you can do a lot of different stuff. You can have a beautifully painted, rendered thing with a very slight story, or you can have a very deep story with very simple art. So yeah, we're definitely on a sliding scale. I would still buy stuff because I like the cover, or it's a classic cover, an iconic cover. Even if I haven't read anything else in the run, like, oh, I want to own that cool cover. Like, I'm not besmirching that at all. But yeah, to me, when I think of my favorite comics and my memories, it's usually storylines, or but I guess there are like splash pages you remember as well. So I don't know, it's too inscrutable.
Well, yeah, that's
especially with comics. Comics is the perfect subject matter for that question, because it really is. It even maybe I have to accept that even the best storyline would not be I would lose the enjoyment if I was not looking at some iconic pictures. I all those panels I can picture in my head from my favorite stories. That's what I'm picturing seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
good stuff.
That's the art of comics. It blends the two together, hand in hand.
Wow. I love comics.
We solved nothing.
Yep. Better keep doing them both. Go ahead and write them and draw them both, guys. Can't just write comic books anymore.
I'm not going to read a novel. They tell me.
Yeah, my
that ain't happening.
That's for sure.
Books. Jeez. What is this?
This ain't a freaking book club.
I already gave. I mean, what? We got. What does the world come to? The thought we're like cringing at the thought of we're joking. Like I read books all the time, but it's like there was that time when people would read books and people would go, oh, look at them wasting their time, their day away reading books. What a waste! And then it was like when we were growing up and we're watching movies and stuff. It's like, look at you, waste your time watching movies. Go read a book. You need to read a book. And now it's like, look at watching clips of movies on TikTok. Watch a movie. Can't you just sit down and watch a movie? I can imagine my son telling his kid someday, well, could you not just sit down and watch a TikTok? Could happen.
What a world.
Wow. So
what TikToks have you been watching?
I don't know. Cliff sends a lot. I didn't really click on any of them, but
they're there. They're there, for your grandkids someday.
All right, how about some TV?
You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Marsha!
What fucking light, yo. Yo, son, come on, yo, Omar's coming, man.
I'm Prison Mike. You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Beavis, Please sit down.
Are you threatening me? I am Cornholio.
First sign a youngster's going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud. Nip it.
And I'm sitting there with Woody, and I turn to him and I go, boy, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Picture it. Sicily, 1939.
What you talking about, Willis?
Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? My neighbor.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Just had a trailer drop. We're gonna segue from comics into TV with the Lanterns trailer. What do we think of that?
On HBO?
8 episodes in August on HBO, if it still exists in August.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I don't want to know too much, and I wish they wouldn't have showed anything at this point, because I've been excited for this show for probably since they announced it, and I'm sure it's HBO. I'm sure it's probably of good quality. There is some speculation, and I feel like maybe I don't know, it doesn't make sense in my brain that they would release a trailer, release screenshots of costumes that would just all be a red herring. To me, HBO would want to build excitement for the show and build the anticipation for the premiere, and I feel like it's done the exact opposite. Everybody in the DC world lost their ever-loving mind, including myself, when they showed that shot of a so-called Green Lantern costume on a hanger, not even on a person or a body or no explanation to it. And
I didn't get that reaction. Like, I don't understand. Like, because my first thought was Ryan Reynolds in the neon green CGI suit. And I'm like, oh, it's a more lived-in, realistic suit. I'm sure it'll light up. It's not going to be brown. So I'm sure there'll be there'll be piping. There will be piping in it. Cliff, relax.
I need all the piping.
I was like, is that corduroy?
Kyle Chandler's a very earthy, lumberjack type guy. Maybe that's his Green Lantern.
That's the kind. That was so brown. That's the kind of suit you don't get out of the closet. That's just we're just gonna let you look at this right here. But most of the time, I'm gonna be in my Carhartt jacket, flying around. Like it feels like a step back to a leather jacket X-Men thing where we're just too afraid to do it. We're past that, people.
Yeah,
it's described as 2 intergalactic cops. Okay, that's Green Lantern, drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. So that is taking He-Man out of Eternia and just putting him on, that's grounding the grand sci-fi-ness and making a gritty Earth cop show, which could work very well. Why, we don't know yet, but yeah, it's definitely taking away the grandeur of it all.
Yeah.
Until I'm sure there'll be a big fight in episode 8 and we'll have a bunch of big special effects. But
yeah, well, I had that thought too, of is this too far of a reaction from that Ryan Reynolds disaster of a movie, because it was all CGI. But immediately I'm like, no, the suit comes from the ring, and it should just come from light up and not him flying in a bomber jacket. Like, this is ridiculous. This is not my Green Lantern.
I like for what it's worth, I like the trailer, and I like Kyle Chandler acting like that and bossing around the younger guy, and I like both those actors. So
yeah, I do too.
I don't need a crazy, superhero Green Lantern show. I like the buddy cop idea, but I hope they get there at some point, that they do some of that stuff. I'd say you're going to get some of that intergalactic stuff at some point, but it probably will be minimal.
Yeah, the Reynolds movie went way too far too fast.
Yeah.
Where the first 5 minutes was like millennia ago, formed of like they explain the whole continuity, and it's like that was too much. So if this is just two dudes, sitting in a truck,
this is dudes being dudes.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Yeah, I do wonder how, because we have established a Green Lantern with Guy in the Superman movie, like, and in that movie he's wearing, a leather jacket and pants or whatever. So,
what do you like? Okay,
I
prefer this, at least the concept of this, to the Guy Gardner, because I don't like the super silly, like, he's too silly for me. Like, that's closer to the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern for me. Like, I want some down to earth seriousness to it, and that this show seems more serious than Mo Green Lantern.
Well, I mean, Guy is.
I know that's the character.
Yeah,
that's that character, but that's the only Green Lantern we've had. In this new thing.
He right. It is, and
there's a reason James Gunn went that way, because that's his silly vibe.
Right. Sure, but also James Gunn is in charge of all of this stuff. So I feel like it had to pass. Yeah, for now. It had to pass muster, though, with him and his vibe or whatever, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the Guy Gardner character, that is part of my favorite Justice League. The JLI stuff. I love that stuff. I love that he's an asshole and sarcastic and just a jerk, because of the way it plays off everybody else. That is not that. So, Hal and Jon Stewart are two totally different characters. I get that. But I feel like there should be a little space cop stuff in there too. So.
And this may be why we all worked so well together. Is like, I feel I'm in between those two opinions where, like, yeah, this could be fun. This could be cool and gritty. But then, like, I didn't like the cussing.
Yeah.
I'm not a prude about it, but it's like it seemed like, look how grounded and gritty we are. We're saying cuss words. It's HBO. We can get away with it. It didn't seem necessary at all. Like, why can't you just do a superhero? Like, Superman was fine at PG-13. Like, what if Guy lives in that world, how does he come to an R-rated world?
If you go over to Cliff's house and he's watching this, are you going to tell him he's too European because they're cussing? This is HBO. We got to go there.
I'm not boycotting it. I'm just saying it just rubbed me the wrong way of, like, I don't feel like it needed it.
Yeah, so
I like it for the fact that it takes some. I'm always worried about these superheroes shows feeling like CW. I never liked Smallville. I never liked any of the CW superhero stuff because it just is all the same vibe, and it's very, like, has that ABC Family feel of a show. And I want to see what HBO does with this material. Like,
yeah, Watchmen, that worked for me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not saying you can't do superheroes that way.
Yeah. I think my fear of with DC is because I did love Superman and the campiness of it. But I don't, on the other hand, I didn't like the Batman movie. So because it was too dark and too gritty. Yeah, it was
the darkness.
Yeah, I still have not watched that movie a second time. Like, I just did not care for it. It was too far that way for me. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like it has to play somewhere in between those two. But yeah, it's probably great. I'll probably love it.
He just comes in with his ring and spits the suit out of his ring and hangs it up.
Right.
It gets wrinkled in the ring.
Yeah, and he says that. He says, too goddamn wrinkled in this ring.
So I am curious to see if they are the only. I think Guy does make an appearance in the series. I think that's been announced.
I'm sure.
I'm curious to see how many Green Lantern we see. Or is it just the three of them? Like, I'm okay with that, but do we get into more of the aliens and all that? So,
and I don't mind these 8-episode seasons. Like there's not gonna be any filler. There's not gonna be any fat that needs trim. So
we will see.
So yeah, it's Aaron Pierre is Jon Stewart that we liked in that Netflix movie.
Yeah,
Rebel Ridge.
Rebel Ridge is really excellent.
He was great.
Kelly McDonald.
Yeah, I love her.
Ulrich Thompson is playing Sinestro. And Garrett Dillahunt. So I'm gonna be tuned.
Garrett D.
Love the D. All right, so a similar comic show was just out. I assume everybody watched Wonder Man on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Oh, have we not talked about that?
Cool. No, we've been off
forever.
Movie watching for a while.
Yeah, I watched it.
Very light on superheroes, just like we were talking like this show. Lanterns might be. So this was almost a sitcom-y sort of thing. Very tangentially tied to the Marvel Universe. So not one of those, you got to do your homework kind of shows to enjoy. I liked it. I thought it was solid. It was very different. It's like nothing they've really ever done before. I looked up. This says this was the 17th TV series connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe from Marvel Studios. Part of Phase 6 and released under the Marvel Spotlight banner. So it's not. I don't know what the difference on those branding is.
What was the? I remember really complaining about the Marvel Spotlight show they did, and this one is right. This is right. Like I felt like this really was a spotlight, even though you have the Ben Kingsley. What was it?
The man thing was that the first Marvel Spotlight?
Werewolf by Night.
Or Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
No, it's something else. I don't remember. Something that I really felt like. I don't think it was that long ago. Whatever it was. Anyway, I don't want.
Oh, was it that Echo show?
Yeah. I think that's it. Was it? Yeah. You had to know so much.
Yeah.
You could not. It was not a spotlight. Anyway, this except I mean there was history with the Kingsley character. All the Iron Man stuff. So there's still things would have helped to have known, but you really didn't need to know much. This was pretty tight just on those two characters. And I had been warned. I think I told you guys offline that. If you hadn't seen Midnight Cowboy before seeing this, you should watch it. So I had never seen Midnight Cowboy, and I watched it thinking, and I do think it has some of that in the show. But I thought they were telling me, oh, this is kind of the vibe of the show, is Midnight Cowboy, and it is a little, but no, the guy was warning because they literally just spoiled the end of the movie in the first episode.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm glad I watched it because that is the end of the movie.
Yeah, Hollywood, very in, what do you call that? Inside baseball, Hollywood actors getting movie deals and going on auditions. So what, like almost like the studio show that's winning all those awards. So like one of those sort of shows, but with superheroes. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
there are people who don't like that Trevor Slattery character because he's a joke, but like
I thought that was a clever
every time
idea.
He comes back, you flesh him out a little more, and Ben Kingsley is so good. He just kills that role. So I'm all for more.
I like the original idea of making him be playing a character. Like I really like because he was an awesome Mandarin, and it was even better when you found out he wasn't that. It was like it was good.
Yeah, he was definitely the best part of the show for me. I have no history with that character.
I do.
I don't know. I don't know Wonder Man. Never have.
Yeah. West Coast Avenger, original, early Avenger, and he's like very tied in with Vision and all that. He's, what his biometrics or whatever used by Ultron to create or Vision, I think, and all. It's just he's very tied into that, and there was like a love triangle between Vision and Scarlet Witch and Simon because they're basically brothers, and she's got something she likes about both of them. And I don't know. And then the West Coast Avengers stuff was so good at the time, this was basically he was just an actor, and actually he was doing a lot of stunts because he was tough,
Yeah.
But I like what they did with it. I like this guy being like really into it. I really like the first episode where it's just him being given way too much effort into his character until they're like,
too many notes.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, I like the show though. I thought it was pretty easy watch, to be honest, because I felt like I didn't know anything. I didn't really need to know anything other than the Trevor stuff. But every time they bring him back, Shang-Chi and all that, like he's just been great. So I could
see people not enjoying it because it wasn't superhero-y enough, or it wasn't, it didn't build on the Marvel universe anymore. But we've said this a million times, like we could do we've done a horror story, we can do comedy, this is, relationships and slice of life, like that works within this framework within Marvel too. And Wonder Man's, again, like you said, it fits his comic origin enough, being the Hollywood guy, but he's outside, he's not being recruited by the Avengers or anything. He's just a guy right now. I'm sure at some point maybe he'll join the broader world, but I don't know. I like expanding what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I did. I had a friend that told me he didn't like it because he's like, I just like the superhero-y stuff. I just want to see superheroes, and this show wasn't that. And I was like, yeah, but it was, it was good. Just as a show, like I enjoyed it. So that was definitely some of the criticism out there for it, or the main criticism for it. So, but I could see that, them doing a season 2 if they choose to, and it totally being very superhero oriented, after the end of it. So,
yeah, I think it got pretty strong reviews. I don't know if they ever released ratings numbers or anything, but I feel like critics were really behind it.
Yeah, I think at one point there it was like the #1 streaming show, at least on Disney Plus. Like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after it was out, so people were didn't watch it immediately, and then kind of fell into it later, looking for something to watch. Oh, okay, I guess this is new, Marvel. I'll watch it, and then really liked it. So,
well, I finished up another comic book based show I've recommended before. I don't know I recommended either of you, but I recommended it to the general public. Resident Alien. This is the Alan Tudyk sci-fi comedy. So it was originally on like Sci-Fi Channel, and I watched it when I still had cable. Hadn't cut the cord yet. And this last season, I don't know, it was on like the USA Network. It's gone to it's on. Like the first couple seasons are on Netflix, I think, but the most recent 4th and final season was just on Peacock, which I got a free week of to finish up this all these movies we were getting ready to do for the Pooh Bah Awards. So I got a week of Peacock, watched a bunch of movies. I saw Resident Alien season 4 was on there. It's like, sweet.
They call that a Weecock.
A week. We didn't have a good title for this episode yet, so thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's based on the Dark Horse comic book about an alien who comes to Earth his job is basically to destroy the planet, and he's not a good guy. He doesn't like humans. He thinks they're beneath him, and that doesn't really change. His heart grows, and he has sympathy for the humans, but he still like insults everyone. He thinks we're all idiots. And Alan Tudyk just plays it so well, and the effects are not great. It's a very cheap, basic cable type show. So don't go into it expecting giant, sci-fi effects. But the humor is great. The characters are wonderful. It's got a great female cast. Like, there's so many good female characters on the show, and they all have really intricate, great storylines that they're playing off of each other. It's set in the Pacific Northwest, so several of the characters are indigenous. So there's a great Native American cast as well. So it's a super diverse show, but not just like checking boxes. Like it's dealing with the worlds they're living in and what they're dealing with. So yeah, and toward the end they introduced Edie Patterson from Righteous Gemstones came in. It was hilarious. And like every sci-fi show, it had Linda Hamilton as a guest spot, Terry O'Quinn from Lost, Jewel State from Firefly. So all the regular sci-fi folks you're used to seeing on these cheap cable shows all show up. And it really nailed the ending. It was a really good, sincere, warm ending that I really enjoyed as well. So I said it when the show first premiered. I thought I had talent, or I had potential, and I think it paid it off after 4 seasons. So wherever it ends up streaming, it's out there somewhere. So one of these days you might jump in and
maybe I'll get to it. Right now I'm watching season, I think 38 of The Simpsons. I haven't watched The Simpsons in a million years.
Wow, you were like.
I haven't either.
I've never been a big Simpsons guy. Well, I was too old for it. I think when it came out, I wasn't home watching TV. I was out, and so I just wasn't. I like it. Simpsons fine. It's The Simpsons, but I wasn't obsessed with it like so many people were and are. But anyway, I hadn't watched it in years. Definitely not very often anyway, and. They had a new season. It's on Hulu, and I was curious, what The Simpsons is now.
Yeah, you didn't do a rewatch from season 1 or anything.
No, I didn't. No. I was I want to know what a season of I've watched 7 episodes maybe, so far.
I think did they just have their 800th episode? I feel I saw that.
That's what the visual. That's what the card is. But. What it's like, I mean, I was curious how they played with the modern day, if they even acknowledged it, what and they absolutely do. It is, there's cell phones, and I hadn't watched it in forever, and
the famous box TV that was always in the living room is now a flat screen,
Yeah, they do, and in fact they lean into all that stuff. They're talking about things that are happening, and I really have enjoyed it. I there's been a couple duds out of the first 7, but for the most part they were good and interesting, entertaining, and I liked the good jokes and good riffs on modern day things, to keep it fresh without being oh, we have to do the AI episode or whatever. It's still interesting and well done. So far so good. I'm gonna finish the season at some point.
Yeah, I haven't watched it religiously since probably high school, but it's a show I will, if it's on on a Sunday night and I'm home, I'll watch it. So I watch several episodes every season, so I've kept up with it over the years, and yes, of course it's not as good as it was in 1996 or whatever the people argue about it, but it's still a solid, entertaining show.
Yeah. Good stuff. What else? What else you guys watching? I watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah,
I know we never talked about. That's the best thing. That was so good.
Great series.
Really good. Short. 6 or 7 episodes. I don't remember. 7 maybe. And it's just fantastic. I love Game of Thrones, and this is as good a Game of Thrones as you get. It's you can literally not have ever watched Game of Thrones and watch the show.
I've been told that, and I'm not sure I believe it.
Yeah, you really can. I know you're not very fantasy oriented. There's there's genres I don't like, but I like fantasy, and I know that's not. I can't even picture you watching fantasy. I don't relate you to fantasy, but. I truly believe you would enjoy this. It's just such a it being the underdog guy.
The story is universal.
A good show is a good show, whatever genre.
Yeah, exactly. And the purity of the main character is just so. It's I honestly think it's like the Mandalorian and Grogu.
A little bit.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, a little bit.
Only bit. But anyway,
is there cussing?
Yes.
Okay.
It probably is.
You know what I'm in for.
But
there's some European stuff in there too.
I'd like to. I'd honestly be interested to hear what you think of it if you got a chance to watch it. It inspired me. That D&D video game Baldur's Gate 3 that came out in 2023, I think it was the number one, game of the year that year. Huge game. I had played like a third of the way through the game at the time, and it's great. It's just a D&D video game. But I watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm like, now I want to play something. I want to play, I want to go be a knight. So Nick, but I was like, I had quit that game because it's very tedious as far as like combat and stuff. And I just got sick of doing it by myself. It's supposed to be a single player game, but you can play couch co-op. So Nick has beat the game twice, and I was like, hey, let's couch co-op this and we can play it together. And because I was playing one guy, you have a party of 4, so you play yourself and you have to run 3 NPC characters in a turn-based thing. And now I only have to run 2, and he runs 2, and it's so we're going 3 times as fast as I was going, Anyway, so we're having a blast playing it, and I am a dunk type character. I am the good guy.
Yeah,
and he's the guy with questionable morals. Doing the shady stuff when I'm not looking. So we're having a good time.
Yeah.
That's great. And The Pit, if you never watched The Pit, it's like it's won all the best stuff the last year. This is the 2nd season. It's just a real-time ER show. Every episode is the next hour of the day. The whole first season was one day. Second season is another day, a year, 6 months later or something. And it's like ER, only better. It's just a revamped, newer ER. It can't be. I think they originally pitched it as an ER spinoff because it's got no Wiley, but they couldn't. It couldn't be a spinoff of ER, and so it's not, but it is. And he's just like the main guy at the ER. And it's great. It's really good television. I don't know. What are you watching, Cliff? Anything?
Anything else? I did finish season 2 of Fallout on Amazon.
I did too.
Yeah.
I had stopped after 3 episodes of the first season.
Okay.
And I just was like, maybe this isn't for me. It's fine. And I just, honestly, I think I was just watching on my phone, watching it while on my phone. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get invested.
Yeah.
And I was like, our season 2 was coming out and everybody loved the first season of that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't get it. I know Fallout. I should like this if anybody does. And so I went back and watched the first season and I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, man, I don't know what I missed the first time, but I actually paid a lot of attention.
I think that's it.
Because there's a lot going on.
Yeah. And, I caught myself doing
the casting is so good.
It is.
The 3 main characters. I love the actors, and I love what they're doing. And there's, and then on top of that, Colin McLaughlin, in a mech suit, and, just all the stuff that was going on. I felt like they put a lot into that first season to tie it up. Mm-hmm. So it's a really great season. The second season, I think, suffers.
Yeah, the season 2, I did much of the same thing. Like I started it, I watched a couple episodes, then I kind of took a break. And then kind of found my way back, watched a couple more episodes, and then there was a little bit of time, and then ended up, watching the rest of them after that. and I didn't, I thought season 2 was not as strong as season 1, but I thought it was good. There was almost, I think season 2, even you may need to pay a little bit more attention because there's just more characters kind of doing stuff and to keep track of people. And
Kumail Nanjiani, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin's great in it. So I don't know the actor's name, but he was in Super Center. He was played the boyfriend.
Yeah. He was.
That guy cracks me
what's
up.
her? Now I can't remember her name, but she had kind of funny. Cheyenne's boyfriend. Yeah.
yes, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good in this.
He is.
It's got a good cast. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's a strong show. Yeah, definitely watched that. Enjoyed that. Yeah. Shrinking.
Shrinking.
Yeah, the new season of Shrinking is happening right now, and pretty cool moment last week. If you're not caught up, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
I'm caught up, but I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's a scene where a little bit of spoilers here. There's a scene where they have to drive Harrison Ford. So Jason Segel and his best friend are in the front, and they're in a convertible. They're driving through California, and
they do. That's not a spoiler. Well, I don't feel like
I don't want to spoil like a great moment for somebody, but they get into. They start. The two characters. Start
they say
singing.
I get to pick the song.
So they start doing Les Mis, and it's great. They're great, and like. And afterwards, I had watched a little story interview with it, and apparently they didn't tell Harrison Ford at all that they were going to do that. And one of them had the idea. I don't know the actor's name, but the one that plays his best friend, kind of was like, "Hey, what if we do this?" I guess. And Jason Segel was immediately. He's like, "I'm in. I know it." Like there was no rehearsal, anything. It just those two. Played it singing perfectly against each other, and
I even know a couple of those lines. So it's like that's like the most famous part of the thing.
But like Harrison Ford, if you're watching him in the background, it looks like he has no idea he doesn't know what they're singing, doesn't know what's happening.
He literally says, "Did you guys make that?"
You guys make that up? It was like but his facial reactions, like as he's going through it, you can read his. He's such a good actor, but reading his emotion in his face and knowing it's real because he's like, "What the hell is going on?" It was just amazing scene.
That's hilarious. I don't know if you noticed, and I can't remember what song it was, but at the end of that episode, in the credits, I want to say it was that episode.
Mm-hmm.
When the credits start, there's a song, there's always a song playing or whatever, but Jason Segel, I recognize his voice. He's singing the song at the end of the show. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember what the song was, but I was like, "Hey, this is him singing again," because he sings stuff. But I don't remember what it was.
Great.
It's a good show.
Show.
It gets a little. I don't know, like too schmoopy sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's what the show is. I just think that sometimes they're really in the sweet spot.
Yeah,
and I still think the star of the show is Ted McGinley. Like,
he's great. Absolutely great.
He's really good at it.
Yeah. Speaking of Ted McGinley, you guys saw Robert Carradine died. Yeah. So I know it doesn't age well, but I'm a kid of the 80s, and those Revenge of the Nerds movies I watched repeatedly growing up and just absolutely loved those movies. So
it's funny, like he was like the quintessential nerd in that movie, and he's like was a good looking guy in his older years.
Like he was on
he definitely aged well.
He was on, was it Lizzie McGuire? He played the dad and like in that show, and he looked like a normal dude. Like yeah, opposite.
Oh, I can't remember what else I've watched. I have every freaking streaming service, and
right.
But that's the main stuff. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So
sounds good to me. Plenty out there to check out or recheck out if you've checked it out before.
Be Kind Rewind.
And just in case there's any confusion, because I forgot to mention this, when I said Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, let's be clear. It has nothing to do with the band Nirvana.
Oh, spoilers.
So just so you know even less of what it's about. It has nothing to do with Nirvana. And I have seen the movie, and I have no information why it's called Nirvana anything. It's never even mentioned why they call it that.
Yeah. Coming up, we not sure when this will be released, but a little housekeeping on our end, coming up on that 10-year anniversary here pretty quick. So, yeah.
Should be it. We'll call it.
Call it 10 years? Call it 10 years? Visit our TeePublic store and get a 10th year t-shirt or sticker or something out there. So
exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. 10
A decade. It's like a whole decade. We're like,
you know how many Weecocks that is?
52 Weecocks a year for 10 years. Well, there you have it, folks. We will be back soon. We've got some trips coming up. March is crazy on the busy. Convention and the toy trail, so I'm sure we'll have some things to talk about. More movies, more TV, more comics, more pop culture, more of everything coming soon. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Thanks for listening to Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast. The best way to support the show is by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/YouDownWithKPP. Catch every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you listen, and check us out online. Stay connected with us on YouTube and TikTok for extra content, or send us an email anytime at Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast @gmail.com. All sounds, clips, and media played are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is the property of Ka-Pow, the Pop Culture Podcast. We'll be back soon with more fun, more laughs, and more pop culture. But until then, ask everybody you know. You down with KPP?